Good morning. It's Thursday, April 25th. It's 10:30. I'm on my prep. I don't know if I've mentioned, but we've been on a modified schedule for the past 2 weeks because of state testing. So my prep occurs later. We test for the first hour and a half. Well, we test from 8:30 to 10. And then the rest of the class periods happen after that. What am I doing? Oh, what should I say? Yesterday we had leadership interviews. Leadership and yearbook interviews, I should say. We had about 120 kids in total. We ended up having to change the way we did it a little bit this year because normally we do them in the NPR. We fit both groups of applicants in the NPR. We couldn't use the NPR this year because another teacher on campus is in the last week of rehearsals for their musical that they're doing, which is Willy Wonka Jr., and they needed to be in the NPR for like technical practice. So we ended up having to kind of improvise and just got them all grouped together in one location first, and then we split them up into 3 different colored groups. And Taylor did a very good job of doing that. Like, she really took the lead because I have been consumed by leadership, and her last yearbook deadline has come and gone. So her yearbook class has a lot of free time on their hands. So she took the lead in organizing how things would run, getting all the interview files set up and ready to go. And at the end of the day, yesterday when we finished, we actually like this system better. We actually like not having them all in the NPR and having them split between 3 rooms. So she made this. I don't know if any of you are leadership teachers out there. So if any of you are leadership or yearbook teachers out there, like, this side was only specific to yearbook applicants, and then this side was leadership. So we had 3 different groups: an orange group, a pink group, and a purple group. There was no significance to the group except for the fact that we needed to have kids broken up into smaller sets so we could move them around. So we projected this when we kind of gave them the welcome speech and oriented them a little bit. We told them your group color is what you need to pay attention to so you know where to start and where to go next. So the orange group, for example, started in G4, which is my room. And in that room, they were working on the rally station activity where they had to script out a rally and directions were provided. And they knew at 3:30 they were going to be leaving and going to B1. But the pink group started in B1, and they were working on developing a spirit week and their promotional task. And they were going to come to G4 at 3:30. Purple group also started in B1. B1 is a larger room. They were working on the same things in there as the pink group, but they were going to be in G4 at 4 o'clock. So we just had that up the whole time, and we kind of liked this because it also let us know if kids can manage where they needed to go when they needed to be there. We also had student volunteers that are currently in yearbook or leadership. So then she made a schedule telling them what they should be doing, and that worked well. We also told our kids that are helping us, our current leadership and yearbook kids, like, they're there to make sure kids are, you know, getting to the right place at the right time, but they're also our eyes and ears. And so each applicant has a file folder, and those leadership students are taking notes inside the folder based on how different students are interacting with each other, how many questions do they ask, what kinds of questions are they asking. So we would have those notes provided for us, Taylor and I, when we start scoring them. So that was yesterday. I had no time to pick up a camera, no energy to do so. And then this morning came, and I just woke up. My alarm went off at 4:20 like it always does. And this is the second day in a row where my body was like, you cannot get up and work out right now. You are tired. So I didn't. And I had to call my sister, because she's just as type A as I am, to talk me off the ledge of feeling guilty about having 2 mornings in a row where I woke up to work out and then actually didn't do it. I just had to tell myself, you are physically tired and mentally tired. You've worked out 2 days already. The week is not done. You still have time. So I didn't do that. I'm also just continuing to make excessive amounts of trips to Starbucks just because I just need little things right now to kind of get me through the day. And so that's what I did. I haven't done anything teaching wise because we just tested, and then I had my prep. I'm about to have leadership. We're going to do a quick debrief of the interviews, and I don't know, just kind of talk through how that went. And then the next thing that the class is focused on is the 5th grade fly up, which is our 5th grade orientation. That is an easier task to complete. And we're in the process of adding up all the cells from the color run. I'm curious to see how that went. Organizing the pod, which is that middle area. That was a mess during the whole time that we were prepping for the color run. And what else am I having them do? Oh, for the 5th grade orientation, we do take the kids on tours, but the tour groups are really large and there are kids that can't hear what the one tour guide is saying. So this year we're trying out having them go to each of the locations that will be a stop on the tour, meaning my current leadership kids, and then recording what they'll say on the actual live tour. And then on the day of the 5th grade orientation, I will give each 5th grade teacher a class set of handouts that have QR codes for each of the stops, so that if a kid was in a group and they're like, I cannot hear what the student is saying, they do have access to it using those QR codes. I've never done it before. We'll see if it works. So we're in the process of filming those little things and just creating social media content to talk about the post color run, share how that went, promote market day, which I think I've talked about. And that's really it. Like when I say all of my time, prep time is just consumed by one leadership thing after another. It is true. And that's just the way that it is right now. So that was the bell. I need to open the door, but that's how the day is going so far. And the phone's ringing. Okay, it is the end of the day. I am cleaning up to go home. I do have a therapy appointment at 5. And my goal is to get home with enough time to walk Woofy and get to my therapy appointment on time, which I don't think will be an issue. So today's task that needed to be completed correctly was the Cane's lunch for the kids that bought the diamond package during the color run. I think we had about 42 of those. That went off relatively smoothly. There was one slight hiccup that was actually my fault, and that was I forgot to look at the kids that are in this black box that I'm so glad I bought. In this black box are the receipts for any student who purchased their color run package at our student window. So instead of buying it online, they went to our student window, gave cash, check, and purchased there. And I forgot to check in there to see if there were any diamond packages stored there. And sure enough, there was. So there were a couple of kids that were like, I bought the diamond package, but I didn't get the invite for the Cane's lunch. But that was easily fixed. Luckily, we had enough. There was like one student who ended up getting the Cane's lunch, but she shouldn't have because she requested a refund and got it, but those chicken strips are eaten and I can't get them back. And the only other thing I would put down for next year is to remind, I don't know, no, I did send a list to students who were going to be invited to all teachers, but maybe I need to add to that. Can you please confirm that there's no one in your class that thinks they should be on that list and they're not, to kind of avoid having this happen on the last day. But either way, even those little hiccups were resolved easily because I had either a digital record from the online sales and I could confirm it there, or I had the paper copy. The other glitch is there was a student who was highlighted on the spreadsheet and it said that he requested a refund, so he was denied his Cane's lunch. And he came to me and I said, yeah, you see right here on the spreadsheet it says you requested a refund. He's like, why? I said, I don't know, you'd have to ask your parent. So then the parent called after school and said, you know, this is what my son was told, but I didn't request a refund. I didn't get one either. So I had to look it up, and what happened was some human error. The student that was listed below him on the Google spreadsheet is the one that requested the refund, and that name was not highlighted, but the student that tried to get his Cane's today, his name was. So just the wrong row was highlighted. So the front office is going to call the mom back, let her know that that was our mistake, and that next Tuesday we will buy him his own individual Cane's lunch, and he just needs to let us know what he would like. I think for my first go round, and out of 42 students, having just one mess up like that, it's pretty good. We read some more of The Silence That Binds Us today. Today's chapter, I did want to do some presetting. What's happening here? Because in this chapter, the main character goes to this BSU meeting and people are really expressing some opinions that are kind of hard to hear, but are valid opinions. So again, I told my class, these are fictional characters and this is a fictional story, but these conversations are real. So I kind of talked them through it. And I feel like that went well both classes. And then in history, I let them know that they will be performing the Cotillion dance tomorrow. And of course, excuse me, of course, they were like, no, I don't want to do it. And I said, we're gonna do it, it's gonna be fun. Once I showed them the steps, and I did let them pick their own groups to kind of soften like the whole like, oh my God. They were having fun practicing their 3 little steps. So that's gonna be tomorrow. I just need to make sure I can find a space to do it because we need to be able to put them in a large circle. And that was really it. The other thing, and the last thing I have to do with the color run is tomorrow in our student newscast, we're gonna announce the student that won the principal for the day raffle. And we're going to give that student his flyer. So the flyer just looks like this. I made this on Canva. Again, thank God for Canva. And it just says principal for a day. Congratulations, you won the raffle for principal for a day. You will get to skip a day of class and help run the school. And that is scheduled for Monday the 29th. So I'm having the assistant principal that he's gonna be shadowing call the family tomorrow to make sure he's gonna be at school on that day. And just kind of let them know what's up. So that was the day. I'm just kind of talking through it a little bit quickly because I do want to go home and walk Woofy and get to my therapy session on time. I'm not going to end the vlog here because I don't know if I want to. We'll see how I feel after therapy in terms of if I vlog anymore. But a pretty good day nonetheless. And so I'll count that as a win. It's Friday, it's lunchtime. There's Taylor. It's Disney Pixar Day, which is why I'm wearing this. We just attended our first cotillion. Our first cotillion. So today was the day I had the kids do their little 3-step cotillion dance, and I did make it worth a lot of points because at this point in the year, it doesn't really matter to me. And most of them are doing well in social studies, and I'm not that much of a stickler with social studies or history that I say it's worth 500 points. And they all got in that cotillion circle. Yes, they did. And they tried their best to hornpipe. I don't know if I'm saying correct. Tay-to-tay. The girl that fainted in her group, it was a full-blown like, ah! Faint. A poussette. And they did it. And Taylor's class, which is my Switch class, watched my homeroom. And then after lunch, Switch will perform. And then my homeroom class will watch. And it was probably the most entertaining thing I've seen in a while. Tears were running down my eyes because I just couldn't stop laughing. And at the end of the first round, I said that made all my student loans worth it. Just that moment. So, and they were genuinely excited about it. Like, they were talking about it. They were talking about it. One student during leadership that I have, she's like, oh no, I'm really excited about it. So yeah, just when you think kids won't do something, you just have to try it. And I always learn that like, oh, they're not gonna wanna do that. And they always do. So it's lunch. It's surprisingly rainy, or not super rainy, but sprinkling. 6th and 7th grade lunch had to have lunch in their classrooms. Thank God it stopped raining. Oh God. So we didn't have to have lunch in our classrooms with kids, so we do get a break. I'm eating a Factor meal, stuffed pepper beef casserole with roasted green beans from Factor, my favorite packaged meals. Because I'm still on that. But I just wanted to check in to say that there's nothing really else to report. We're pretty much done with state testing for me. Taylor has to do science testing next week. But we're not on testing schedule.
No, so my whole week of core time is filled up with them doing science testing.
Which is kind of nice.
It's kind of nice. I do literally nothing all week.
Yeah.
I have to wrangle them in after lunch and then be like, all right, sit down and be silent for however long to see test back.
I'm done. And what am I doing next week? I really couldn't tell you right now. I do know that we're reading The Silence That Binds Us. And we'll probably just truck along in history just so I can see these lessons. But yeah, that's where we're at on this Friday. Oh, and the color run, I don't know how exact this is because I had kids add it up, but we think We made a total of a little over $8,000. Profited probably a couple thousand because it did cost about $6,000 to have the color run, which I think is something to be proud of. Next year when we do it, we should profit more because we have the color packets left over and we have shirts and sunglasses. The other thing I had kids do, because when we finished testing in here this morning, it really just became a factory of random things that needs to be done. They took my textbook inventory, they did some things for leadership, and the other thing they did is they got all the extra sunglasses from the color run and they scraped off the year 2024. And I got them all done in that time period. They cleaned the pod. I just was like, this is amazing. This is great. Like, so we're set for next year, but I'm gonna eat my lunch now. That's how our Friday is going. I will talk to you later. We're going home. We are. It's Friday. It's probably about 4 o'clock. It's cold.
So cold.
We're tired. I mean, attending 2 cotillions in one day.
Hard work.
It takes a lot out of you. Yeah. We were expecting the second class to be more, I don't know, because that's the hype class I always refer to, and they had seen the first one, but I feel like homeroom, my first class brought it.
They did.
There were 2 solid groups in her homeroom class, which is my switch. A group of girls who did spend their whole lunchtime choreographing their steps, had props, had prop masters, like putting their chairs out. And then there's a group of boys, and I love these boys, but they're not the most organized individually.
And not ever frequently dancing.
No, but the 4 of them together, they had those steps on beat. They were leaping around in unison. One of their step involved someone fainting. They choreographed the fainting and then the picking up and carrying him off. And everybody was like, oh, like, oh my.
People were aghast.
Who has the nerve? Ow. Who is this? To call me on a Friday. It's the office. Hello? Yeah. We want it in the morning. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Bye. That's putting in our sub request. So that call will take. But yeah, everybody, children and adults were like, wow.
Yeah, aghast.
Because I just wasn't, and not to be sexist, but the boys in general, this is not their wheelhouse.
No.
But it was good.
And some of the boys who it is in their wheelhouse were just kind of...
underperformed.
They underperformed.
They underperformed.
Yeah, shocking.
So I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
It will be done next year.
This was the first annual cotillion.
This is the first annual cotillion. There's been a lot of first annual things.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with first.
No.
But the first. And that's just an inside joke.
Yeah.
People correcting something that didn't need to be corrected. No. But we're gonna go home, so I'm gonna end the vlog here with Taylor in her cute little Mickey Mouse sweatshirt.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed this vlog, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment, leave one. And as always, we hope that you're well, and if you're not well, please be well. Bye.
Bye.